What's going on, guys? It's Nathan. Welcome back to Hyperspace Hype, episode number 39, and we have officially returned to the era of live-action Star Wars productions in regards to television shows. That's right, Mandalorian is back, and we cannot wait to break down so much goodness in this premiere. Joining us, as always, we have Evan.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I thought this was a very fun, entertaining episode. Probably one of the most entertaining episodes of like the last all 9 episodes of Mando in general. And we started the podcast doing our Mando reviews, and we were back October 30th with our season 2 review. So very excited for the next couple of weeks, just diving into everything crazy going on with the Mandalorian.
And also joining us, we have Carson.
What's going on, guys? Yeah, like Evan said, excited to be back in Mandalorian territory. It's what started kind of our podcast. Like, hey, let's talk about the Mandalorian and do reviews. And now we're all the way, a year into the future. Watching the first episode of season 2. So much happened in this episode, and I guess I did not expect it to be as big of an episode as it was, even though it's still self-contained like Mandalorian famously is, and we're still on the outskirts of Tatooine or wherever we go in whatever episode. But yeah, I'm excited to break all this down because we've had scoops for months, and now we finally have characters and certain events and
confirmed scoops.
Like, okay, this happened. Confirmed scoops. Yep. Let's do this.
Yeah, I was literally watching like Corey No's reaction to the episode, and like they were getting hyped about all the stuff to see, because it's like it's one thing to hear about all the scoops, but it's a whole nother thing to experience it for real.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. As we start going in here, I'm just happy. Like one of the main things we got from the trailers was like there was a big scope. Like it seems like the scope of the show is going to be even bigger going into season 2, and we kind of get a lot of that in just in this episode alone. Like not even the scope of like the world and everything,
Yes.
but the scope of the action too. I didn't really expect that too.
Scope of the action, scope of the VFX in particular somehow
Yeah.
outed itself in the first episode. There was like 17 different large creatures in this episode. Like, by the way, before we jump into full, if you have not seen Mandalorian season 2 premiere, which I cannot even say the title because it is pretty much a spoiler. Do not listen to this episode and come back either once the stream is over or on Spotify at a later date, because we're getting in full spoilers, every little detail.
Definitely. Yeah. Spoilers. It's funny because when I woke up this morning, I'm like, I'm not going to look at anything on Twitter. F it. And then like, I'm just scrolling through Twitter at work, and I'm like in the middle of my classroom, and then the Marshal appears, and I'm like, okay, cool. And like, I wonder who the Marshal is. And then, like,
that didn't click in your brain. I immediately I was watching it, and like they were sent like right from the get-go of the episode when they're he's investigating the dude at the Gamorrean fighting ring, which is cool. That piece all in its own. We saw it in the trailer basically.
Mm-hmm.
When they start setting up the Mandalorian on Tatooine, I'm like, okay, this is going to go one of two ways. It's either actually is Boba Fett, or it's going to be Cobb Vanth. And as soon as the title said the Marshal, it was locked. Like,
yeah, I don't know why. Like,
Yeah.
maybe because I thought like, okay, the Marshal is going to just be some antagonist guy on Tatooine. I'm like, I have no idea why. Maybe because like in the Aftermath novels, I associated Cobb Vanth with sheriff, not really a marshal.
Mm-hmm.
They're the same thing. They're synonyms.
yeah.
It just didn't click in my head.
Yeah, that's exactly how I felt too. Is like when he said,
Hello,
he's
father.
like speak. He's hello, Sean. He's like speak to him yourself. I can't remember what he says at the bar, but then it looks over, and I started laughing because I knew it wasn't Boba Fett, and it looks funny because it's like he
It's
just
not the
has the chest
complete
piece,
garb,
the helmet, and then it just kind of looks like a scarf, like on the
somebody tweeted out. It looks like somebody's mom made you like bundle up your Halloween costume because it was too cold outside.
It does. It looks like you got 3 underlayers, and you're like, oh, it's gonna dip below freezing tonight. You gotta get a layer up.
That's so true.
But after that, it led to I love his character introduction, and mostly because there's like this animosity in the room of like, oh, I've been looking for you, and then all of a sudden he like offers him a drink and sits down and immediately takes off the helmet, and Mando freezes, and you're like, oh my god, because like you finally get to see what we've been speaking about for 8 months is like we're gonna see different kind of Mandos, and he's gonna pull them in different directions, and know that his armor is not gonna just be this sacred thing. It's that whole deal, but it's actually on screen, and I was so happy to see that. And it's a cool character.
I started laughing because I think the idea here is that the audience is supposed to be like, oh wow, this guy's taking off his helmet. He definitely is not a real Mandalorian, even though like. We watched Clone Wars where Sabine, everybody else is taking off their helmets. I'm like, but they're real Mandalorians too. Probably more so than Mando. So it's very funny seeing Mando's reaction to this because like we understand where Mando's coming from. It's like it's his creed. It's like there's no way in hell you're taking off your armor. I mean, yeah, your armor or your helmet. And that was kind of like off-putting for him, but for us, it's like, okay, I mean, it doesn't really matter.
Why did that not even click with me? Like, oh yeah, the whole helmet thing. I just watched the finale again. Oops.
But and it was just very funny seeing them interact with each other. It was just so cool seeing like Cobb Vanth, seeing him say like, "My name is Cobb Vanth." I'm like, wow, just seeing like this interconnectivity. Even though I'm not huge on the connections, I could really give a crap. It's still really cool to see Cobb Vanth, somebody you just read about. Come to live action, pretty different than seeing somebody from the Clone Wars or somebody you visualize going to live action. This is somebody we've never seen like even concept art of. It's really cool.
Yeah. And we got to see, I think they really did the legwork of showing the backstory of him to an extent. I love, one of my favorite parts of this episode is that flashback. And I've been saying power vacuum for like 8 months as well. And he says exactly, he's like, hey, it is a vacuum and it just exploded or something. And as soon as the second Death Star blows up, those dudes in those cool mining costumes come in, take over the bar. I'm like, this is what I want out of this show because it shows the struggles like of the Empire just blowing up, and then there's always going to be someone to fill that place. And of course, that goes all the way up to the First Order, but we get to see it in the small scope of the show on Tatooine of all places. I love that it extends all the way immediately as the Empire, blows up. Literally, we get to see like these people move in, and I thought it was funny how he stole the crystals. I thought the shots were pretty hilarious with him in the desert, like just swaying. But then the barge pulls up, and wow, the VFX again, just amazing. I think it's it looked incredible. Just the scope of everything of all these vehicles, and
they definitely got more of a budget.
It was cinematic. It really was. More
I wonder if they're like what's it called? Volume room just got even bigger, or did it just like
they just built it
2 volumes stacked?
Bob Iger's like, I want 2 floors of just volume. Just give me the volume. It's like just huge 2 floors of volume now. I have no idea, but yeah, it did look.
I was wondering that too. It'd be funny if it was. It's like a double-decker volume.
Right.
We're on the Wizarding bus in Prisoner of Azkaban.
It was funny because my brother asked me while we were watching the episode, like, where do they film all these Tatooine shots? And I'm like, these are all probably in studio, right? They're all in studio, even though it looks very like the scale of it looks really cool. Like when he's riding into town, I'm like
the end sequence and stuff is particularly because they're on like that cliff area, but then there's people running around and it's like pretty wide shots. Like
that's what I'm thinking.
And like crane shots moving around. I'm like, where did they shoot all this if it wasn't the volume? It's very cool.
Yeah, I can't wait for the Disney Gallery season 2.
Back on Iron Man 2.
You want to talk making Iron Man? You want to talk making Iron Man? The entire scene of Cobb Vanth shooting the rocket at the distant tank.
That was great.
Oh yes,
that was
which
funny.
I loved, by the way. That was such a casual moment, and it was like, it felt. Also, it is a bit funny because our first characterization of Boba Fett in this show, or at least visually, with that armor is with somebody else, and just to see it like in action versus him just like standing there for all 6 minutes in the original trilogy is just hilarious because
seeing the actual functions of the tech.
Right, like, and even the thing on the chest where it's like I don't even know what the purpose of that red lettering on the chest is, but it's like a little
Me
square
neither.
on one
I
of
was
the
looking at that. I was
breastplates,
like,
Yeah.
Huh.
a little scanner thing, and I'm like, I've never noticed that in Boba Fett before. Like, it just, but yeah,
Yeah.
very Batman-ish. Bugged out on the train.
That was hilarious.
Definitely.
Also the beginning again when he's just like hanging the Cyclops dude from the lamppost. And he just lets the creatures get him.
Yeah, that was. I didn't know that was John Leguizamo. That was the guy voicing him. That was very funny. I was like, okay. I didn't know there was like that kind of cameos in the episode. Did we ever get the name of that planet, that graffiti planet?
Maybe I might have to check back.
But that was a pretty cool planet. I liked that.
I think it was also Corey Noah was like pointing out those like creatures in the dark. I think were from the Bad Batch episode of Clone Wars.
That's what it reminded me of. Those kind of weird dog kind of creatures. I couldn't put a name to it though.
Yeah. But like the dogs like later on Tatooine, pleasant surprise because Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
But it's weird to see like these like prequel aesthetics and like updated better effects, you know?
Yes. A lot of prequel love in these episodes, which I wanted to touch on.
When I saw a Cobb Van speeder and it was a pod race engine.
No, not just a pod race engine. Right? Anakin's. It's like a salvaged Anakin engine. It could obviously just be like a Sith model or whatever, but nonetheless,
it definitely looks like
it looks awesome.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're just trying to go for the Anakin Easter egg there. That was pretty awesome. Love that.
Yeah.
And of course we get our what's the Tatooine shipyard girl back. She was fine, with the prequel droids.
I was happy because
she's so over the top. She's so over the top.
Okay, my only negatives before we go into the rest of the positive this episode is it kind of lost me in that before we met Cobb Vanth, like that little part on Tatooine where they're just sitting there and she's like, "Thank the Force." Like, no, stop.
I'm here for it.
It was funny.
But then it picked right back up and the pacing was better and it got right back into the mission. But I was like, this is like episode... it gave me flashbacks to episode 5. I'm like, all right, hold on. Save yourself. Come on, pick it back up. And then it did.
I don't think anybody hates episode 5. We just all agree it's not that good of an episode.
It's not my least favorite, but I still like find enjoyment in it for sure.
It was funny because I was rewatching it, doing my Mando rewatch. I'm like, what is it about episode 5 that I just don't like? Because I finished it like the other day, yesterday, in fact. And I'm like, I think it's just like everything's so over exaggerated. It reminds me of like Goblet of Fire, where all the acting is just so over the top. I'm just like the mechanics over the top. Toro Malacan, whatever.
It just takes me out of it. Like it feels. If you feel like they're on a stage for the first time of the series,
exactly.
You feel like they're just kind of there, and it doesn't feel like lived in as much as like when I see Carl Weathers, I immediately feel lived in that universe because just the way he presents himself and immediately starts speaking his dialogue, he embodies that character right away. But when I see Toro, he's just in Mos Eisley, and I'm just like, yeah, it's kind of weird.
Nah, I believe Toro.
Toro could still be alive too if Fennec Shand is, guys. Come on.
No.
Don't tempt them.
No, hang on, because this is cemented, I believe. The importance of what happened to Fennec Shand.
He's dead.
Which we'll get there though at the end. We'll get there.
But real quick, I just want to say, like, in comparison to episode 5 Tatooine, I was nervous. I'm like, okay, I know they're going back to Tatooine. How is it going to be different this time around? I think this is a great example of a Tatooine episode where it's just not a lot of nostalgia. I mean, there is nostalgia because there's a lot of references to A New Hope and especially Return of the Jedi here.
But they don't linger on them.
They don't linger on it. Exactly. And they make parallels of it, especially to Attack of the Clones in regards to the Tusken Raiders and how they're kind of like starting to humanize them even more. We saw that a little bit in episode 5 with the whole sign language thing, where it's like, hey, they think them as themselves as like the natives and you guys as like the aggressors. And you kind of see that more here.
I love those details.
I love that.
Especially because Mando is someone who understands like their group, like of sticking together. Of like, I love how he was like the mediator of the conversation between the townspeople and the Sand people, and it felt like it wasn't like a nostalgia trip to Tatooine. It felt like the deluxe tour package of Tatooine, if that makes any sense. Like we saw a lot of Tatooine, but it never felt like odd or like just going there. Like it felt like we were very much purposely going different places. Like it never was on like a bantha for too long. Like, hey, look, it's a bantha, or hey, look, it's it didn't linger on that skeleton for like 5 minutes. Like the trailer very much is slow. It's like, oh, look at the skeleton. But this, it really, especially on a second viewing, the pacing is really, really good. It picks up and it just goes. And I was surprised. It feels like a 30-minute episode in almost an hour runtime. And I was really impressed with that. And I guess part of that would have to be that this is Favreau's first directing Mandalorian episode, technically. I mean, obviously he's been right there for everything, but I was really impressed by what he brought to the action and just seeing his writing come to screen from his perspective this time.
Agreed. Yeah.
It was interesting, like watching throughout the episode. Like the biggest thing I had on my brain was Boba Fett and like how he was gonna factor in. So like every turn of the episode I like was analyzing. So like when they're having like the standoff in the bar and like you just hear like that big rumble, I was like, did he call the slave one? I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, is either Cobb Vanth has called that ship and he has it too, or Boba's coming already for the armor. But then a very interesting reveal when like the creature's in the sand. And at that point I was still trying to like figure out what it was, because again with Boba Unknown I was like, do Sarlaccs move?
Stuff like that. They did.
Right. And then it was like, is it a Krayt dragon? And as soon as they confirmed, I was like, oh no way. Like,
see, my brain went immediatly to Dune because I was like, oh my god, worm sign, because they call it worm sign in the books when
I got that
to shake.
I got
and
that
I'm like,
vibe too.
Worm. I'm just pointing at the screen and having a blast with that. And then the head comes up on that bantha at the like other end of the village, and it just devours it. I'm like, this thing's got scales and like a protruding head that just looks straight out of like Game of Thrones, like dragon mixed with
these poor banthas, dude. These poor banthas. I feel so bad.
Yeah, I called it actually. I was like, as soon as it started like going in between the city, I was like, what kind of animal could it be? Then I instantly thought of a Krayt dragon. I'm like, that's the only thing that's kind of big enough that it could kind of be. And then finally, like he said, like that's a Krayt dragon over there. I'm like, wow. In live action.
To that point, like later on, I had no idea they had like acid spit. Like
me neither. Yeah,
that was crazy. Like as soon as like you just see the Tuskens melting, it was like, oh my god.
Yeah, that really like blew my mind. Like I was like, okay, this is a huge scale fight, and then all of a sudden there's just like that brief pause, and it starts burning these people with acid. And I'm like, okay, this is
all right. I see Ridley Scott is taking over.
It did kind of remind me of like Xenomorph, like, but that whole sequence is amazing. Like we'll get to it. I mean, literally probably the most cinematic this show has felt, at least for me.
Before we get there, like when they're calling I had a theory about further speculative episodes. There was a moment when they're like rallying the town to like team up with the Tuskens, and there was a moment when Mando brought up the Dune Sea, Cobb Vanth gave like this like distant glare off to the side, like something happened. I feel like maybe there could be an instance where Cobb may have already run into Boba Fett.
What was that instance? What are you talking about?
They were like talking about working with townspeople to get them to work with the Tuskens so that they can all take down the Krayt dragon. And at some point Mando's like trying to rally them too. And he brings up something in regards to the Dune Sea. And like you even see like Cobb is like turning away from like everybody. He's just like looking off in the distance, like something had like happened.
Interesting. I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah, I did immediately because again I'm on my Boba Fett analysis and I'm like, did they already have an encounter and he's trying to keep that armor? I don't know.
Yeah, I have
But
some
then
Boba Fett questions towards the end of this.
yeah.
But yeah, I don't think so. I think I interpreted that scene as like he's had a lot of like bad experiences out in the dune scene, like after he escaped from that bar. Maybe that's what he was talking about.
That'd be more fair because especially since at the end he was honorable to give up his armor.
Yeah. But before that, when they were having that initial interaction between Cobb Vanth and Boba Fett and Mando, I was very nervous. I'm like, please don't kill off Cobb Vanth like in the first 5 seconds of this interaction. I was like, what's going to stop these guys from like shooting each other up? Because I really did not want to see them get into
it. Almost happened, and we got that classic. We've seen it in Solo, that classic holster Western shot.
Exactly.
The poor bartender in the background. Later we see in the flashback, he's going through it.
Yeah. Every scene he's just like, oh god dang it, these people. Also, that one drink that he has, like he says, like I'll order these two, like whatever drink. Is that the same like blue kelp thing from episode 4?
Yeah, it's spatchka.
Spatchka, yeah. I was like, it looks like the same blue thing from the
Powerade.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely is. I do remember the dialogue because I was editing like all of my episode watch throughs. So yeah, it's the same drink.
Yeah, pretty popular around these parks, I guess, in the Outer Rim.
They should bring it to Galaxy's Edge. That'd be fun.
Yeah, I was also gonna say before we get to the fight. In regards to Tusken Raiders, I just really like how I was saying earlier, how they're humanizing a lot of the Tusken Raiders. It really goes a long way from Attack of the Clones, where Attack of the Clones, a lot of, especially for the general audience, like you see them taking like Shmi Skywalker, brutally just taking her, and then that's where she dies, and Anakin just massacres them, even though we know it's bad for, like, what Anakin is doing. We kind of like understand it because like what happened to his mom.
Yeah,
even though we know it's a terrible act, like nobody deserves to get massacred like that. But I do like how they came a long way this time around, like with the whole sign language this episode, having them work together with the group of people to defeat the Krayt Dragon and stuff. I just really like the whole Tusken Raider aspect.
Yeah, there's some good humor with them too. I love when the dragon comes out for the first time.
Oh yeah,
and instead of eating the bantha, it eats one of the Tuskens.
Oh
and
yeah,
Mando
that was
just
great.
turns to he turns to Cobb Vanth, and he's just like, they may need some help with some new methods or something.
They're open.
Baby Yoda's just there, like, first of all, Baby Yoda had like one rule this entire episode, and it was just to like peek in and out of bags and or pots, and he played it perfectly.
Yeah,
10 out of 10 Oscar performance. I love it. And
hiding in the flower pot.
Yes, and his little ears coming up, and then also when he's on the
perfect
little satchel
shape.
on the he's on the satchel on the side of the speeder bike, and his ears are flopping in the wind, and he's just like,
oh, it was on Twitter. It was Jim Does a Star Wars. He was saying total missed opportunity to give him cute little baby goggles for.
Oh, that'd have been funny.
Oh no!
I was watching that too.
Okay,
I was like, there's a lot of sand.
If there's a sandstorm, there's got to be a sandstorm some point in this or in the future. Yeah. Not that I don't want to be on sand planets for the remaining 7 episodes.
If we go back to Tatooine this season, oh my gosh!
Oh, we're still there. We're not done. Next episode, we're still there.
Oh my gosh! I figured maybe you left. Yeah, I don't know.
No. We're gonna go get that armor, but.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. What was I going to say? Yeah. Hopefully you don't come back. I really don't want that. But yeah, when they were first doing the Krayt Dragon like round 1 thing, I'm like, whose job was it to go down there and just like bait the Krayt Dragon? I'm like, did they rock paper scissors this? Did they do like the shortest straw? There's no way in heck I'm going down there.
That's like, he's a goner. Confident. He's confident when he goes up there.
He's so confident. I'm like, this guy's a goner, right? There's no way he's surviving the sequence. And then as soon as he comes out, I'm like, he's gone. And then he trips over himself and dies.
And in regards to like Tuskens, it was interesting to see like they had like this like misty black drink
Apparently, it's in the comics. I saw someone post a comic thing, which was cool. I'm like, I've never heard of it.
Once again, I was getting really Scott vibes, like, oh, it's Alien Covenant, but
it's a deep cut.
It's the spores. No,
I didn't even think of that.
No, it was weird though, because apparently that's like their water. Is what they were saying. They were like, oh, so first you steal our water, and now you insult us by not drinking it, which is a great line.
Yeah, and Cobb got so angry for no reason. I'm like, dude, calm down.
Yeah.
He's like, just drink the drink. Take the L, drink it.
I love, and I love, I think the sign language thing worked most effectively during that little skirmish, because then he's like, what are you saying? He's like, the same thing I'm telling you. The dragon's going to kill us all if we don't basically get our shit together. Like, I love that frustration from Mando, because like literally he just wants to get the armor in balance, except he's into another situation where he's got to go get the rhino egg or whatever.
The mud horn.
This was interesting. It was very much like an instance of like Save the Town again from episode 4, but I felt like it was a lot more intriguing, probably because it was like even more kicked up Western style.
Yeah. With Cobb Vanth, and again, I mentioned his backstory in the beginning, but I really liked that flashback sequence. Pretty fantastic stuff.
Yeah, like I'm really happy that Star Wars is starting to use more flashbacks this time around. Like, of course, they're still like weary of doing that in movies, but we've seen it a lot, like especially in Mandalorian, just alone in terms of like live action television. This was a great use of flashbacks. It's really cool to see that, because we don't see it that much.
And and it's like I'm glad we got to see that stuff as he was describing it, because it would have been absolutely boring if we were just sitting there eye to eye on the speeder bikes and he just had that whole monologue without us seeing anything.
Exactly. Seeing is believing. And for months now, whenever they the rumors came up about Cobb Vanth, we're like, how are they going to explain to a general audience who Cobb Vanth from the Aftermath novels is?
And he goes like really fast, like when he's sitting down, like when he takes his helmet off, he's just like, it's not my actual armor. Bought it off Jawas, like quick sentences. He got it out.
Exactly. It was like reading like Wikipedia page from Cobb Vanth.
He was just like, all right, we'll just wrap it up now because we got the actual story.
Which it had to be. It had to be both from an audience perspective and a deadly Mandalorian standing 3 feet in front of your face about to shoot you if you don't state your purpose and or make the situation absolutely clear. It was kind of perfect.
Like, I did not kill any Mandalorian dude. I just got off and
back up. We're fine.
What was? Hang on. I think it was a piece of the dragon itself. I guess they're just like, they don't mind eating it. We know Baby Yoda is carnivorous.
Yeah, I mean that meat looked pretty dang good. I'm like,
make some great dragon burgers. Some some steak skewers.
That's gonna last him all season, guys. It's gonna be like months of him just using the same meat over and over.
That is great. I want to see Mando's fridge. Like, we've seen his weapons, but I want to see the fridge.
It's just all that blue juice.
It's spotty, yeah. It's
and then we get speaking of that sequence, the pearl that comes. The Tuscans get the little pearl. I guess it was inside.
Yeah, I was like,
apparently that's from a video game, like KOTOR or something like that.
Suga.
Yeah.
So another cool reference that I thought was like made sense in terms of these people just because they are raiders basically and just finding stuff and making what little wealth.
Oh, they were instantly like picking at the bones, like
I know they were scraping it off the bone. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, they went to work.
Yeah. I like another instance when they were like surveilling, they were bringing up that like a Krayt Dragon like a nest in like abandoned Sarlacc nest, which
another
again
great line from Mando.
And again my Boba Fett brain was like, it has to be the one, right? Like it has to be the one.
For a second, I thought somebody was walking out of that cave. I'm like, all right, just have them all walk out. Ahsoka's walking out. Boba Fett's get it all over with. Get all my scoops out of the way.
Here's Sabine.
So they're all chilling in the Sarlacc pit with the dragon.
It did seem like a Boba Fett reference there. I'm like, okay, Sarlacc, those things can be eaten? Apparently,
that was interesting. I mean, it's bigger for sure. I don't know, like the dimensions of a sarlacc, but like
me
That's
neither.
what I was
Like,
wondering.
can we see like a 3D diagram of a sarlacc?
Because
Like-
does it go down? Like, is it because so it's like the mouth? It's got to
I
have like a
imagine-
stomach or something.
I always imagine the shape like a rathtar, like
Yeah, me
sitting in
too.
the sand.
I always just imagined it just like sitting at the bottom, just like a mouth. I didn't ever really
like a Venus
theorize-
flytrap. Like it just has a little gut
Exactly.
in the bottom.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, I didn't think of it having like legs or anything or able to move or anything. I just thought of like a stationary plant-based creature.
Yeah.
I didn't know it could be interesting.
Yeah. So shall we get into said finale?
Yeah, let's get into it.
Okay, let me tell you. I was not aware when it first was starting, but as soon as they're running away from, like all three Tuscans are running away from the cave, and I see the screen is expanding, and you know me, Mr. IMAX.
Oh, I saw it immediately. I saw it
I
immediately.
lost it. As soon as I saw, you can see my reaction on the channel. I'm flipping out at the prospect that, oh my god, it's expanding. I'm losing my mind.
That was pretty incredible.
Little follow up. Someone replied to gosh, who's that prominent art Star Wars guy on Twitter? I can't
Bill
remember his name.
Shostak?
Yes. Someone replied to one of his tweets, and one of the camera department people, it's not, because someone asked right away, did you shoot in IMAX? And they're like, well, not technically. They basically just shot in a standard TV aspect ratio for that sequence, versus shooting in the 2.35 whatever to 1, which has the black bars, and so then they're able to open it up during that sequence, and it's so cool.
Wow.
I can't
That's
wait
awesome.
to share. I made a GIF of that exact moment when it
Yeah, I
expands,
saw it.
and I'm like, I can't wait to share that on like Monday, when everyone's seen the episode, because it's just so cool, and it stays all the way up until Mando goes out on the speeder bike, leaving that scene, and then it crops, and then you see the twin sons, and you're like, oh my god, what a perfect. And then all of a sudden you go over, and lo and behold, we have Boba Fett, Tamora Morrison, looking like Hawkeye is retired. I don't know what he had on his back. It looked like a bow or something.
I think they were like gaffy sticks that the Tuscans use.
Oh,
You might be right.
yeah, it did look something like that. Yeah, maybe he killed Tuscan.
So how long has this man been here, and why
5
has
years?
he been here?
I don't think he's probably not in Sarlacc for long.
Let's dive into the action sequence first, then go into Boba
Yeah,
Fett.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
Jetpacks.
Yeah, that was the coolest part for me. I liked the whole Krayt Dragon just devouring everybody on the ground, it retreating.
Mhm.
When he started shooting at it, then it disappeared into the ground. I'm like, oh, it's just gonna appear like behind him, right? But then like it appeared on
Comes
top
out
of
of
the
the
mountain.
cliff.
I'm like, whoa, like, that's
When I
insane.
I see it come out of the cliff, and I'm like, whoa! But then later, when it's like back on the ground again, I misinterpreted, and I was like, "There's 2 of them," you know.
Yeah.
But
If there was 2 of them, it would have been a wrap.
yeah,
Speaking
I was
of
like, "There's no
jetpacks-
way."
Speaking of jetpacks, this looked infinitely better than that Mando sequence in season 1, where they all come in and like help him. Like they were all just like kind of floating there, kind of shooting and
Early
just coming
volume.
down in one little trajectory on wires. This
Yeah.
was like they flew up, and you could tell John.
Oh, you're like
you know.
It looks like they have like the Zack Snyder zoom effect of like the distant like
Mhm.
whip
Yeah.
pan zoom of like the
Yeah.
flight out of focus. It's so good, and they're just like
I love
curving
when
around.
they go up. They go up, and then they start shooting, trying to shoot the eye, and they're just both like reloading their guns. And then the mouth, it flips to the other side, and the mouth is closed, and he opens the mouth, and you see them both on the other side, still shooting at it, and then the mouth chomps down, and they fly out. And I love just like the hardcore land. Like, okay, it's very much superhero landings, but they both land like super cool, and like skid in the dirt, like.
Yeah.
Just so
Awesome
cool.
stuff.
I'm like, you can really tell Mando really gotten used to that jetpack. I'm surprised how well he
Yes.
was good at. And Cobb Vanth was
Yeah.
doing pretty well too for somebody who I don't think he would use the jetpack that often, but he was really killing it there too. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, and it's interesting too because we actually still don't know the full time gap between season 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we don't.
I don't think it's long, but I think it's, not like a day or something.
A couple weeks.
I think it's probably like a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a lot of like great moments of like the fact that there's like these giant harpoon cables for the Tuskens, and like when they get like ripped up off the ground, it was nuts.
It immediately made me think of I don't know why I'm thinking of Game of Thrones so much this episode, but in the Unforgivable season 8, they have these crossbow things to take down the dragons, and it reminded me exactly of that for some reason, just the way it was shot. But yeah, it's so cool because it's literally doing nothing to this dragon. And I think before I mention anything else, I need to talk about like the team up sequence when they're laying down the bombs and stuff. It felt like an opposite like resistance gearing up for battle in the hangar. But it felt like Tatooine's little version of that, and I loved it. They're just sitting there burying the bombs and like, bonding together and doing all just on this uncharacteristic team up. I just love that whole sequence, and the music, of course.
Music was out of this world for the entire episode. Good job, Ludwig. But when the thing was retreating, I'm like, my brother and I like, why don't we just shoot the cave, have a cave in, so it has nowhere to go. To retreat back to. Yeah, true. I guess that's why they probably didn't do that. Now that I'm thinking about it, but I'm like, it was retreating back into the cave. I'm like, you gotta take the cave out of the option there. I didn't think it was gonna go on top of the cliffs though. I didn't see that coming. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah. So then it can just like go through rocks, and you're like, wait, hold up.
Yeah.
There's no hope. But okay, there's basically when Mando's about to take it on his own, and he had to get Cobb Vanth out of there. They do the same thing of hitting the jetpack like they did to Boba in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
For his death, or so we thought. But yeah, it was the same thing.
Said, like, take care of the child too. I was like, wow,
a pretty selfless Mando moment. It's we know how attached he is to this mission now, not only because of his just care for the child, but of how it's linked to the Mandalorian stuff, and now how he's been tasked to go find its kind, yada yada yada. But it's a pretty quick decision. It's like, hey, and he trusts Cobb Vanth pretty quick. Not trust, but he's pretty open to Cobb Vanth to do that. It's like, hey, take care of the child. Boom, go. Like, you're up in the air. Like, it was boom, boom. Like, we're going. I'm like, oh my god. Like,
yeah, that was so surprising to me. Like, granted, I knew nothing bad was going to happen to Mando. There weren't really a lot of stakes involved, but I was very surprised. Like he says, take care of the child. I was like, wow, because you start the episode off, he was going to kill the guy in the bar, to saying, oh yeah, now take care of the child. You're all good now. I'm like, okay, wow, I like that character development. Yeah. Good job, Mando.
I will say, there's a lot of moments where he just kind of like leaves the child around. Like the whole intro, he's like, oh yeah, or I go, he goes, but then like he goes to this new small town and he just leaves him.
Walks in without him. Yeah, I'm like,
yeah,
one of those people just walks in. What if one of those people just goes in and takes Boba Fett or Baby Yoda and just runs with it? I'm like, okay.
I guess the child is just like, he walks around on his own now. It's fun.
Yeah, it's like he can hold his own. It's fine. He's stronger than I am. These people just don't know it yet.
It's the same way when my sister tells my nephew, "All right, get in your car seat." Like, they got it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, when they're like in the final moments when the dragon eats Mando, basically. I didn't realize that's what happened. I was like, surely he flew away and it's a misdirect, right? Like,
me too, right? I thought
that they established all that acid. I was like, there's no way. I didn't even think about the Beskar, which ends up saving him. And it's so great seeing like him fly out from the effect of the pulse rifle. That was like a phenomenal image. And then they got him. And I knew like from the get-go, before they even tried all the stuff, I was like, surely you have to have him eat a bantha full of bombs, right? That's what I thought was the first plan.
Yeah, I thought that was too, Nathan. But then, like when they said, like, "Oh, we need him on top," so I guess they want him to just belly flop on top of their mines or on top of all their bombs. But then, as soon
I'm glad they didn't use all of them. Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, because that whole plan, that plan was very ingenious. I just love the idea of people just going inside of the enemy to kill it. It reminded me of the Kylo Ren comic book where he went inside that one dragon creature and just killed it from the inside. I A lot of people are
Also,
doing that
some
these
Guardians
days.
2 drafts
Guardians
at the beginning.
too, yeah. Even though it didn't really work out for him, it's like the skin's the same on the outside as it is on the inside.
Oh man.
Oh
Uh,
man,
no
that'd been
weak
so
sauce
funny
on
if you had
the.
like. That'd been so funny if like the bombs didn't work and it was just still like impenetrable.
He's in there. It just cuts to inside the belly. He's just sitting up against the wall, just be like, "This is not the way."
This is not
So
the way.
this is how Boba Fett lived. Okay. Callback. Oh, that's kind of is a callback as well, I guess, where it's just like you get eaten by the creature, but you back out. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, and then right after that, of
Yeah.
course, we get the Boba Fett reveal. So I guess it is kind of
Yeah.
directly like, oh, here we go. He comes out of the eye of the devil. Like he's back out.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I guess before we break into that, we could talk about the last scene with Cobb Vanth, which was great. Like the fact he was honorable of giving up his armor, because I didn't think he was going to be.
I totally thought he was gonna be honorable. I'm so happy that he was honorable.
Mhm.
It kind of
Me
it
too.
matches up. It matches up with the books. It matches up with his character, and I just liked Cobb Vanth as a character a lot. He felt very human, relatable, very cool guy. I actually thought that Din would allow him to keep the armor because at that point when he pushed him out of the way to take care of the child, you could tell like they got very close to each other. I thought he was just gonna be like, you know what, you're a cool dude. I respect you. I know who you are now. You're allowed to keep the armor. I don't give a fuck anymore. I don't give a crap anymore.
Yeah. I'm so curious to see what happens next with it because obviously, an ambush or whatever is coming, and obviously we know Cobb Vanth's probably coming back, and
I hope so.
How are those three going to interact? Like,
Oh,
it's crazy.
Yeah, I thought Timothy Oliphant was fan-freaking tastic as
I
Cobb
need him as a
Vanth.
series regular.
Me too, right?
Pleased if he
And this is something
joined
I
the
didn't.
crew.
Yeah, and this is something I didn't really expect. Like when we heard that rumor, I'm like, and the rumor of Cobb Vanth came after the Boba Fett rumor. Because when the Boba Fett rumor came out, I'm like, oh, I don't want this to happen. Boba Fett, Mando, this can be very generic. Bounty hunter versus bounty hunter. But then Cobb Vanth got introduced in the rumor mill. I'm like, okay, you know what? This could be exciting. You guys can play the tape. I was like, this can be very exciting. I'm excited for Cobb Vanth because he's not an original character, but he's a character that we don't really know too much about. So
they can be original with because
exactly
of, how limited the scope of how he was and whatever.
Exactly.
Also, I'm excited about the character because I think he's flexible to become like a normal person because I'm thinking, what if the Empire catches wind of, the stuff on Tatooine? Mando even says in this episode, oh, just go blow it out of the sky. Like, with my ship. Like, just as easily, two TIE fighters, maybe even one, could take out this entire town. And so what does that do to Cobb Vanth if all of a sudden Mando's implication of being there, all of a sudden the Empire comes in, takes out that town? What does that do to Cobb Vanth? And I think that is interesting to pull him into the team, or that's just one potential way. But I'm interested to see what would bring him off Tatooine because I think he'd be an excellent addition to the plot moving forward that's not centered on Tatooine.
I fully agree. I usually don't like it when writers change the course of a character because of like fan reaction, but I hope they pay attention because I like it's fantastic. Can you be like the third main character here? You know what I mean, guys?
Yeah, he'd be a right. Nah. Yeah, he'd be a great like addition to the crew. Like that was my whole thing with season 1. Whenever we were like running into people like Fennec Shand or anybody, I was just like, I'm ready to build up this crew. I want like everybody to be a member on Razor Crest. Like
yes, I want the Razor Crest to be super jam packed of all these cool characters.
Even though I'm realizing how small the Razor Crest is for that.
I know.
Like maybe we can upgrade. Get a big.
Yeah, somebody can sit
like
in
a
the
phantom
toilet.
attachment. Like
But yeah, I'm watching this. I'm like, I would love for Cobb Vanth to be a normal member of the team. I hope they don't kill him off. I'm kind of nervous given the ending, but I just hope he stays alive. I think he's.
So,
just
what do you guys think he
means?
Yeah, like what does he mean by like? Oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't tell you the rest of the story. I was like, wait, what?
Wait, what? What do you mean?
Before he gives him the armor, he says, "Sorry, I couldn't tell you the rest of the story." And Mando's like,
no, that was Mando talking about hitting the jetpack away while he shot off.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, did I miss something there? That makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just
I do love when Cobb's just like, all right, tell your people I'm not the one that broke that.
yeah, what a great line.
Great little moment. What a faulty jetpack. What a horrible jetpack.
Jetpack is so bad.
And you can even tell when they both take off. It's like a little bit delayed. Like
Yeah,
that
it's
one
like-
takes a second. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, speaking of like sound effects, like we did. You could with the armor and just specifically, you got all those little prequel moments. Like I could hear little things, and I'm like, I know this sound, but like I can't pinpoint it to it. But like if I watch the prequels, I could pull it up side by side and be like, okay, I know this sound.
Speeder
like,
sounds are great.
The speeder sound, just the you know, like when they're that whole deal.
Oh, the whole
yeah. I could hear that a little bit mixed in. I'm like, oh, you guys, you got me.
You got me. So yeah, exactly. I just thought Cobb Vanth is a fantastic character. I hope he shows back up. But going into the whole Boba Fett thing, it raises a lot of questions. I'm like, so this guy's just chilling on Tatooine. What has he been doing for the past 6 years? Has he been looking for it? It took Din 2 minutes to find the freaking armor. It's like, so what has this guy been doing for 6 years?
Yeah.
I mean, the man's got no resources, it looks like. Maybe someone robbed the slave
Ask
woman.
around.
But he's also a bounty hunter. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like this.
On the map of Tatooine, the Ripley looking lady, the mechanic, said like,
There's three dots.
There's 3 dots. There's Mos Eisley, there's Mos
Mos Espa,
Espa, and there's
this-
Mos whatever this place was.
We need another watch, but yeah.
So I'm like, Boba Fett, you have a 33% chance. It's not a Mos Eisley. I'm sure he's been there. So it's like, pick one, Boba. What have you been doing for 6 years?
My guy, go ransack Jabba's palace.
Exactly.
So
Knock on some doors.
What if he
does he?
Yeah, no.
Do we think he loses it after Sarlacc, or do you think it?
It had to be, right? So
Yeah, like
I
it has to be.
think the course of events was like he got out of Sarlacc, he lost it, and after that, I don't know. Like, my theory is he doesn't want the armor back because that's what I was thinking. That's
Maybe
my
he
new theory.
abandoned it.
Maybe he abandoned it
because
that's my new
there's a lot
theory.
with
That's what it has to be, right? Like, I think he abandoned.
Yeah, that would make
it,
more.
And then
otherwise, how do you lose it?
Yeah, or how do you not get it back that fast? Like, and it could be, is he going to be upset like when he tries to like retrace steps? Like, does he go to Cobb Vanth to be like, "You last had my armor, die, boom," kind of like? I really hope he doesn't cross paths with Cobb Vanth. I really hope they don't kill him off. I have a sneaky suspicion that they might. I don't want that to happen, but
it just makes me nervous, and I'll tell you guys why. It's because we spend this whole episode keeping our distance with fan service and nostalgia on Tatooine, and we get this really cool new character where
fantastic.
You know, he's literally he's wearing Boba Fett's armor, and it's like this character that's lived in someone else's experience, yet it's challenging Mando as a character because there's the association with its armor, yet we have all these preconceived notions about what that armor means, and really Boba Fett isn't like a Mandalorian, you know, and he's just a different kind of bounty hunter person wearing that armor. And so then at the end, it's like, wink, wink, look who's back, and I'm just like,
we don't care.
I'm still not sold on what he's gonna actually add to the whole thing. And people are tweeting like, oh, he's going to show up in a lot more episodes, and he's going to, down the line, he's going to have his own show. I'm like, what are we going to do with him? I just, especially with this time gap, I'm like, what is his purpose now, and how does he fit into anything that's even substantial besides his own personal vendetta? And that's where I'm just like, I don't know yet, but like,
I don't know, and I don't care. That's
the second part. It's like,
it's just like you're complete, Carson. You are reading my freaking mind because this episode ends, and I'm like, okay, and now we're back to like the freaking post-credit scene from episode 5 again, where episode 5 ended. I'm like, it's probably Boba Fett, but 1, I don't care, and 2, I don't want it to be Boba Fett. Now it looks like it is Boba Fett. Actually, let me go back to that real quick.
I think it's Cobb Vanth in episode 5.
Episode 5, that had to be Cobb Vanth then? Was that Cobb Vanth? Because
which is interesting because did he see them before? Did he see them before?
Yeah, in episode 5, there was like that buckle, right? There was no buckle with Cobb Vanth. It didn't. It seemed like a different person.
The boot spurs sound.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't get boots. He just got the armor. And it was still like the black garb that looks like what Boba was wearing.
Exactly. So could those two be two? Could that episode 5 person be an actual new character like I first theorized back in 2019?
Nah, it's Boba.
Or still, but then it can't. Then what was Boba Fett? There was no like sound at the end of this episode. He was wearing a robe. It looks like he didn't have any armor on. He just had a robe. I mean, it could just been a robe.
I mean, that's what it looked like in the episode 5. You didn't really see much of him. It was pretty much like leg up.
So does Boba Fett at the end of this episode? Does he just have like that brown robe over some jangly stuff?
I mean, well, probably like his under like suit that Cobb didn't have or something.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm interested in like the lore stuff of like, oh, how did this exactly happen? I'm just nervous that they overuse him and it's just not interesting. That's what I'm worried about.
I'm the same way. I'm
curious though, like Nathan, what's your theory in terms of how he fits into this? Because I know you've been having your Boba Fett lens on and like digging into this, and I want to hear what you think, how he's going to impact the show, because I think there has definitely potential. Like, it's a cool concept.
Yes.
So yeah, it's interesting. It's hard to gauge because you're on such limited knowledge, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I still like to pitch my theory, and I feel like it's stronger now. The fact that Mando, since it was confirmed in the special look and now in this episode that he's looking for other Mandalorians to help guide him, that Boba is going to be the one instance of Mandalorian that like isn't really about like the trait of like honor and stuff. It's more about just like the personal gain side and just like living comfortably, I would say.
That's a very good point, Nathan, because the episode, you can kind of say one of the main themes was where it's like one of the early ideological differences of being a Mandalorian. Like, by the end of the episode, you could tell that Mando thought that Cobb Vanth was a very honorable person, and I think that's what Mando has to learn. I think Din has to learn that it doesn't matter what kind of armor you're wearing. It's just like you can be an honorable person, and I'll let you wear the armor. But unfortunately,
and the people that wearing the armor can also be terrible, and so I think that could be.
So I think like there can be such things. Mando as a bad Mandalorian. I don't think he has encountered that before. So I think that's where Boba Fett comes in, even though Boba Fett really isn't a Mandalorian either. Mm-hmm. He's kind of a farther removed. He's as far removed as, I guess, Cobb Vanth, right? So it'll be very interesting. But then that goes to the point, like is Boba Fett just going to be looking for the armor, and then you're just going to be upset about like Mando taking his armor? Like, well, what's going to be the ideological difference here?
Like, what's his
end game? Yeah, what's his end? Like, he's been on Tatooine for 6 years. He couldn't find the armor for some reason.
He could have left if he's alive.
He could have left. That's what I'm thinking. He could have left. Why didn't he leave? Again, is he just looking for the armor, or
part of me thinks there's also an Empire angle to this?
That could be interesting.
Which I don't think the Empire would be. I don't know specifically like how they would feel about like, or even would they care? Like, it's like if this guy steps out without the armor, like who is he? You know, Spider-Man Homecoming reference. Who are you without the armor or the suit? Like,
yeah, another without the suit shouldn't have.
But like, so what is keeping him there? Or maybe this man is just depressed and just like, all right, it's all over for me. But like now I see maybe what I could have become, and maybe that's like, hey, I want to help. But I still don't see him being like, I want to help you, or I want to.
No,
like
I feel like
I don't know.
I feel like there's some bigger. There's got to be some bigger tie. That we have nothing that we can gauge on. I think there's going to be something happening with Fennec Shand.
She's
no,
guys.
Evan. We ran a poll. I have the number.
I will pitch you this.
We go back to Tatooine, and there's zero reference to her. So, and I'm pretty sure we're not going back to Tatooine again in these freaking.
But we're still on Tatooine.
We're still there.
He's going back to his hangar and he's leaving.
Yeah, but
gone.
Boba's on the way as well.
He's gone.
Boba's on the way. Boba's on the way.
Episode 2 starts off in hyperspace. I'm gonna just say that it's gonna start off in space. He's gone.
So we gotta go.
You
back
think
for
he's
Boba?
obtained that armor and we're done? Come on.
Yes.
Look, this was quite, as respectable as an episode this was, it was also a very fan servicey one, which I'm fine with because I was a nerd.
Yeah.
But I feel like that was the thing, like especially they established in the Disney Gallery, like they have like plenty of fan service do in like such a way that it's like charming.
Yeah.
I trust them.
Yeah, I trust them.
It doesn't dip over the line. I just hope it doesn't.
I think there's a good. I see the route here that's pretty good. Like Boba Fett could be the antagonistic version of like the Mandalorian kind of person we meet with Cobb Vanth. Like Cobb Vanth is a good guy. Boba Fett's going to be that one antagonistic person that Din Djarin's not going to be accustomed to. That can be very interesting. It can kind of challenge his beliefs that we've been theorizing about. I just don't see what can be going beyond that. I think the unique thing is just what is a Boba Fett's endgame. That's what Jon Favreau had to decide, and that's
how does he approach Mando? Like, is it like guns blaring, like, "Hey, that's my armor," or he saw how Mando acted? Like, I think if you explain the situation to Mando, I feel like Mando would be like, "Oh, this is your armor." Like, not that there's a way they can prove it, but obviously, that it kind of figure it out as he's talking about the armor.
Do you think they'll break down Mandalorian ways and like whether or not Boba deserves to have the armor?
That's where it goes, right? I think somebody like Cobb Vanth, who's not a Mandalorian at all, kind of deserves the armor. Or I would say like he deserves the armor. He's a good guy. But then somebody like Boba Fett, who just uses the armor and then just becomes a bounty hunter, doesn't really exemplify any good creed. Like, granted, yes, Din Djarin is a bounty hunter too, but he also has a honorable Mandalorian creed. Boba Fett doesn't really have that. He just goes where the money goes. He's just a bounty hunter. So I guess that could be interesting. But again, I have no idea what Boba Fett.
There is also the Camino stuff to think about. The Camino doctor, and which I don't know, like.
That can't be connecting to Boba Fett, right?
I don't think we're gonna get to that until we get back to Navarro.
But I'm saying it could be tied to Baby Yoda, which could be tied to.
You think it's all connected?
Part of me thinks that Boba Fett would play nice, and then be
play nice, Boba Fett.
No, play nice until he gets Baby Yoda and like, oh, I'm gonna get my check from the Empire, get back in the game, like that I don't know. Kind of thing.
But. Like,
I don't know if it would have any sorry, I'm just like running in my brain. In Clone Wars, did Boba Fett ever meet Yoda?
No.
Oh, no. Just Mace.
He met Mace and Anakin and Ahsoka.
Yoda was like flying down though. I don't remember. No, he didn't.
Obi-Wan in disguise.
Yeah. Fire!
Fire! Oh my god.
I put on Clone Wars after, just to like take it after. I rewatched the episode, and it was the episode of when Dooku, Anakin, and Obi-Wan are all tied up together trying to escape.
Love that episode. That's
so good. It's hilarious.
The amount of sass in that episode is off the charts.
Oh, quiet, Anakin. The Count is concentrating.
Yeah, and Anakin's just like, "What do you think? Should we get rid of the baggage back there?" So
Didn't he call him like Grandpa at one point? Like,
yeah.
Yes.
That episode is too good. Whenever Hondo's on, it's a great episode. But yeah, so is Boba Fett going to be like, okay, I want my armor back just so I can go back to being a bounty hunter? Like, you can still be a bounty hunter without the armor, Boba Fett. Like, just leave and be a bounty hunter again. What's
like? It's maybe 5 years. Like,
he's self-conscious. Like,
yeah, like
that's.
What are you doing, Boba? Just go. Just leave. Just leave Tatooine.
Why would you stay there? It's okay. Well, I'd also like to discuss the appearance. Cause it's fascinating to see like how he looks. Like he looks pretty like scarred up. I feel.
I didn't really recognize him at first. I was like, "Who is that?" I'm like, "Is that Boba Fett?" But then everybody else was saying Boba Fett, so I'm like, "Okay."
And to that, yeah, because all I feel like what most people imagined was just like a like like simply scarred here and there, Jango Fett looking hairstyled.
Right.
Whenever there's
Except he
fan
got
art.
bald.
Yeah, but also, hey, really cool to see Tamora again.
Yeah.
Back in the role.
It looked great.
It's
surreal.
surreal.
Oscar-nominated role in Aquaman worldwide.
Right? Mr. Worldwide.
Mr. Worldwide.
Oscar Worldwide.
Ocean.
Right, but no, it's so surreal, isn't it? Like, can you imagine when he was hired back on like Attack of the Clones, and even though he did like dialogue re-record for special editions, that he would be like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna be playing Boba Fett again post Return of the Jedi." Like, what a concept for that actor.
That's insane.
You know what? I have a new theory because
I like this.
Because I'm
You haven't heard
thinking
it.
we had like
we
had all this power vacuum stuff of like, oh, the mining people came in, like the Empire's gone. Do we know anything about the fallout of the Hutts and all the other syndicates? Like,
Every time we go back to Tatooine, I'm always hopeful. Like, give me a hut. I want a puppet hut because I want to make Solo 2 after.
Because somebody had to grasp for some power with after Jabba dies, right? I mean,
you're right.
They're gone.
I feel like there is something.
The
I can't remember. I think or not all
Honestly,
the huts
Tatooine-
are gone, right? Are all the huts gone? Is there no huts left?
I don't know, but Tatooine just seems a lot more barren than it was even in the original.
It does, and that's why I'm like, I don't know if this angle would even be viable, but it would make sense that he'd go marching back in there and be like, look, you're listening to me now. Like, I just survived this. Like,
Boba Fett marching in where? Like to the huts?
Just wherever there's a syndicate or the huts or just whoever's bad on the planet. I feel like he'd...
Crimson Dawn.
But that could be because I'm trying to come up with justification of why he would stay there for so long. Because I just feel like the armor is too weak of an angle. I think it's just dumb if he's been there for 5 years looking.
It's
for
too
armor.
weak it's too weak, and it makes no sense. It took Din 2 minutes. Granted, Din had to go to some off-road planet to ask a guy who knew a guy. Din
is also of like, he's got every resource he needs.
His resource was one guy from a graffiti planet.
That's a reference, but like, I mean, like, he's stacked with like stuff to fight with. And transportation and stuff.
True.
Like,
Boba Fett's a very skilled dude too. Oh,
yeah,
also,
but he had to scrap. It looks like. I mean, if he's like working with gaffy sticks, I imagine he's like pretty like.
I mean, I don't know who wins in a fight between Boba Fett and Din Djarin. I don't know. Boba Fett
I feel like it's Din Djarin without clumsy Boba was in Return of the Jedi.
Oh, wow.
You never know.
Very true.
Because it's not just like he got hit. Like at one point in the fight, like he had like Luke sliced his gun. He just straight up falls on his face. Like,
I mean, Nathan,
he didn't even fight. Let's be real. He just fell and just.
I agree. I agree. But I'm talking about in terms of the lore. This guy is supposed to be the best bounty hunter in the freaking Outer Rim or whatever.
You're right, and then just been pent up fan. Oh my God, Boba Fett's the best.
Exactly. But granted, Din doesn't have a couple years early on him. Like, Din's a younger guy. Din's probably like, what, in his early 30s compared to Boba Fett.
I mean, he was brought in around...
And
Din has Beskar on.
Yeah.
He was, and he was like, but Din was like raised all throughout his life. Boba was like, if he had any form of training from his dad, it was cut off, and then he was just in the bounty hunter life.
But he does have that clone skill ability, so like a DNA.
I imagine they have different fighting styles, and I'd be curious to see if we get some kind of
was it like, Cobra Kai versus?
It's like how it's the whole thing of like how, you know, like obviously Dooku fights different than like Ventress or Ventress.
Yeah,
it's just like
Dooku fights in his pajamas and
yeah.
I love
swing that
scene.
blade down.
Is that where he's like blind too for some reason?
So good, yeah.
Yeah, I think they poisoned him.
He's blind, half asleep, and he still beats 3 people. Come on,
amazing.
Dooku's the best.
What a character!
What a character! Cinema.
What a picture!
What a picture!
Okay. You guys want the poll for?
I want the poll.
Okay. I asked when Ming-Na shows back up in the Mandalorian season. Which episode do you think it'll be? and I posted this before we even got to the premiere, just for fairness. 9%, I put in like 2 episodes at a time because that's as much as I could do for a poll.
What did I vote for?
9% said episode 7 or 8. 14% said episode 1 and 2 or episode 5 and 6. They tied. Resounding 64% said episodes 3 or 4. I voted 3 or 4, but now I'm vibing. Now I'm saying 2. Yeah.
So you guys think we're getting 2 out of 8 episodes just of Tatooine? Get us out of here! Get us out of here!
How does Boba come back into the realm?
He follows Mando. I thought he's gonna follow Mando. Mando goes to his hangar.
Why is he there? He has to be on some job then. If he's,
I thought he could be looking for the armor. He sees Mando has the armor, and now he's gonna follow Mando with the armor. I don't know.
Well, yeah. There also is Baby Yoda, and I still think Boba's the scum that would be like, I understand that there's a bounty on this guy.
Yeah, it's a good point, Carson. Because when he goes to the graffiti planet, even that guy knows, like, hey, we've heard about a guy who has like a Baby Yoda.
It's very much the same network. Everybody knows now.
Everybody knows now. Yeah, it's very fascinating. Yeah. So high value target in Mandalorian there. So that could be a play too. So it actually could kind of tie in. But yeah, going back to the Fennec Shan thing, if they were going to show her, I just feel like we would have been teased by it by now. It's like,
you got an episode 5.
What's the point? What's the point? What's the point?
You got in the last Tatooine.
I could see her being back at the.
What's the point?
Being back at the ship and Boba flipping her coin. And be like,
rewatching the episode 5, just last night. Actually, I just watched it last night. It's like she got shot when Toro, like, in the morning, because they get there at night to fight her. In the morning, he shoots her. Then the episode ends at that night, and she's still on the ground. It's been over 24 hours, and she's still on the ground.
Boom!
Dead.
You know,
it's Star Wars. We got through. Hell, even in this episode, this man goes into a crate dragon, gets acid all over his body, which Beskar does not cover all of it.
Exactly. Like, you don't have
and he comes
everywhere.
out, guns blazing. Like, there's a possibility. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I'm hoping, because I think it would be cool.
Yeah. I'm hoping too. I would be so excited,
I hope she
guys.
proves you wrong. I hope she proves you wrong.
I hope to be proven wrong. I hope so. I hope I'm wrong. I just don't think I am.
I'm just saying, Ming-Na has been very active with Mando stuff on social
media.
She's
been tweeting.
Oh my God, this kills me. She has friends in production. She's supporting people.
But if you're not in the season, why
I didn't
you
see
just
her
like
tweeting
check
about
out this
Mulan.
article about?
She wasn't
like,
tweeting.
All this
She tweeted once about Mulan. I think that was it.
Oh, they've sent me a Baby Yoda, and the premiere's tomorrow.
So, if an actor gets killed off, I'm like, you know what? I'm not retweeting jack shit from this show anymore. I'm done.
Look, I haven't been seeing promo stuff from Toro.
Yeah, you haven't seen Toro. No, Toro actually called The Rise of Skywalker garbage. So
yeah, he's not. He's not.
Yeah, because he's getting jobs everywhere, right, guys? What the heck? Oh man,
no,
dumb decision.
Oh man,
he'll be the next Michael Bay movie. Too soon.
That will be starring the new pandemic one, COVID-23 or whatever.
Yeah, he's gonna play the scientist in COVID-23.
I want to do like a fan edit of Jim Carrey's Thriller, the number 23 with COVID-23. Join us on My Cup of Tea for more on that.
Okay, I have a big picture question now, since we've kind of ousted the whole Boba conversation. Of course, Boba can tie into us. How do you think the conflict evolves this season? Like, how early do we see Moff Gideon? Like, how rampant are these stakes going to ramp up? Is it going to be like episode 3? Like, what's the deal?
I thought we were going to go back to Navarro on episode 1. I didn't know we were going straight. That's another thing to like bring up. Cobb Vanth out the gate was crazy. I would have expected like
I was not expecting.
I did not expect that at all.
Which feels nice and refreshing because it's like I feel like we anticipate most of the time, like, okay, we're building up to like we're gonna get like checklist of scoops, but it's like, oh, it's already up. Okay, further this adventure, the Empire. I'm excited to see.
What shocked me is I was like sitting there at 3 a.m, and the opening shot is the shot that we've seen in the trailer. I'm like,
Yeah.
no,
Oh,
wait,
shit.
what? We're already here? Like, wait.
But this is
What's
episode
going
6.
on?
This is episode 6. What are you talking about?
It's funny.
Yeah. I thought the whole water planet was gonna be episode 1.
We were so confident last episode. We're like, all right, we're gonna go to this planet.
I thought the whole
I know we had it all planned out.
I thought the whole speeder chase was going to be the first 2 episodes, and then we were going to get to the water and then ice.
I fully agree. I thought the same thing. Nope.
Only the Mandalorian, master of all 4 planetary elements.
Oh man. So yeah, I'm guessing the water planet's episode 2 now at this rate.
Oh really?
Maybe
with the
Moncala, yeah.
All right, if I were to guess, like to break down like the planets we've seen, I feel like we're gonna go. I feel like we're gonna do episode 2 be Tatooine. I think episode 3 and 4
on Tatooine.
We're gonna have to at least leave. All right, and maybe at the end of episode 2 we'll meet up with Carl.
I could see that.
And
yeah,
then,
we're gonna be with all of them. Let's go.
Then we're gonna do a heist stuff for episode 3. Then we're gonna go water planet 4, maybe even 5. And then we're gonna start heading to the rebellion stuff probably, and then we're gonna end the season around the ice planet. That's my guess.
We got to see Moff Gideon sooner rather than later. I don't want to. I don't want another.
Not hold out until episode 5 or 6. There's just
I would hate
that. Which why I think like when we get to the Navarro stuff and the speeder stuff, I feel like he'll be around.
Ooh.
I hope so.
I hope
really do.
Because we keep theorizing like, oh, he's on a Star Destroyer. No, I think he's in a base now.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. Yeah, I would love for him to encounter Mando again. Just like I want like short skirmishes before like the final season finale battle. That would be really cool. Yeah, I might agree with your planet by planet synopsis there. Maybe I still think the water planet episode 2, maybe actually, and then Navarro 3 and 4. After that, unknown places, unique places.
I forget. Do we every week? Did they tweet out like a little tease for the episode? I can't remember.
I think they do.
They tease the current episode, not the following.
Do we get no tease for the following one? Do we at least get a synopsis?
No,
nothing.
Oh, you don't get nothing until drop.
Interesting. You're. I think you're right, because then the following morning it's out, and then they tease like the. You're right.
Yeah, chapter this one now. Cool sweeping shots.
Chapter 10, the orphan. I don't
know. I ran out of names. Like, what do we call the Ahsoka? What are
the gray, the Jedi, the white?
Yeah, Fulcrum. If you read Fulcrum, everyone's gonna like flip.
Everyone, people who watch Rebels.
yeah. Well, I mean, people who read the Marshal like me flipped. Like,
I had no clue. That was so funny. I'm just saying like, oh, cool.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Oh, what's that mean?
I had zero clue. But yeah. Oh, also, are you guys surprised that Din Djarin didn't know what Boba Fett's armor looked like? Has it been that long? Because he's such a famous bounty hunter, right? One of the most famous bounty hunters during the original trilogy, supposedly during the lore. Like everybody knew when that guy walks in, he's like, "Oh, that's Boba Fett." So, does Din Djarin like not know, or has it been too far removed?
I mean, it's interesting because like all we've like really like knew of, like even though he's still like out and about, like he primarily like lives in the sewer system with other Mandos. I don't know if he's.
That's
like
what I was
closed
just gonna
off
say.
And just doing jobs. I don't know.
That's fair. I think
it's instance of.
I've never heard
like
of a Mandalorian on Tatooine.
Yeah,
I think it's just like everybody in their own lane kind of deal. Boba was doing jobs for the Empire, and Mando was elsewhere. So I think it could be an instance where it's just like, he was growing up, training, doing other stuff, like obviously. But then again, it's like he has this knowledge of who Moff Gideon is, the Knight of a Thousand Tears, all that. So it's like that's a big conflict. Is like once you know about like an infamous bounty hunter, like it seems like something he would know. So I don't know. It could go either way for me.
Yeah, very interesting. But yeah, I agree. I hope we get Moff Gideon sooner rather than later. I would be super happy to see him even in the next episode. I just hope we get to the point where we can get like dual storylines. We don't really see that much. Usually, every episode of Mando is just like what Mando is doing from beat to beat to beat. We don't usually see like, oh, wow, Mando is doing this. This is what this character is doing. We don't usually get that.
I think we're going to build up to that. At least everything we've heard in the interviews in this season has been like, there's going to be opportunities to simultaneously do things and expand out of that.
Well, Evan, get ready for your Rebel sequel in live action.
Nathan, get the heck out of
here. Careful what you wish for.
Oh, no. Oh gosh. Next episode is just all Ahsoka. I'm like, this is not what I asked for.
Episode 2. I don't know what I would do.
It's it's funny. Like I was actually like I'm really hyped right now on the Boba stuff because I was like having concerns, but like as soon as I see it, I'm just like brilliant. But I was literally like saying in chat the other day, like like us talking about these live action characters is like McGonagall reprimanding the trio. It was just like, why is it whenever we're trying to have fun with scoops, it's always you three?
We ask ourselves that, yeah.
Every day.
That's funny.
Half-Blood Prince, guys. Go give it a watch.
A movie.
A picture. Fantastic.
What a picture. But Ginny, yes. Go watch our My Cup of Tea episode. That's great.
Let me tie your shoe.
No, stop. You got some toothpaste.
Was that a thing?
I think that was Hermione and Ron.
That's a deleted scene.
Oh yeah, that was Hermione. Okay.
Oh man.
Anyway, look, it's been a full episode of this topic.
Hour and 16. I love talking Mando. But yeah, last but not least, I just want to say like I might be curious about the Boba Fett thing, but I am happy that he's there without his armor on. What's up, man? I'm happy he's there without his armor on. There's some mystique going on. And there's a lot of questions. They can go a lot of different ways. So I'm very hopeful to see what Jon Favreau has cooking up.
I'm glad we don't have it figured out because it would be dumb if we were sitting here and we're like, oh, this is this, and I think we're all going to be wrong in some aspect. So
yeah, I hope I am.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Do we know who the next director is for episode 2?
Great question. No, we don't.
Nothing
I'm
confirmed.
going to go with Rick. I'm going to say that Rick is doing episode 2.
I was going to say the same thing. Yeah.
Look, if we're still on Tatooine,
Peyton Reed.
I'm gonna say Robert Rodriguez.
Oh.
The man did
I'd be down.
Desperado in like a couple of those.
Alita Battle Angel back in theaters this weekend in select IMAX locations.
Yeah, Alita Army.
You're not wrong. Dude, I jumped into a Mando comment section. I immediately saw someone reply with Alita. I was like, that's fascinating. We're still going.
That Army is so fascinating. Movie made like nothing.
I honestly think we're gonna
I'll take an Alita Disney Plus show.
I'm good.
It's a lot of money.
Listen,
for that to work. Yeah. Although we do have the volume now. Never say never.
Yeah, we have the volume. That's all you need. That's all you need. I need to list more. Be gone. All right.
Yeah. Be gone.
Yeah. So.
Fun episode. Great start to the season.
Yes. High Republic's here.
Woohoo! High Republic.
We got villains.
We got tentacles.
It's so funny because last week didn't I say like I hope we get the villains soon. I hope we get some more information about the villains, and lo and behold, we have our first main villain, and we have some group information.
I love this. In the spirit of Halloween, check out the Monsters and Marauders set to terrorize the Jedi and Lucasfilm's upcoming epic. All right, so we got did we get the names for all these guys?
Yeah, they did.
That's Fennec Shand. No.
That's her early
Oh
grandfather.
my gosh. Okay, so this is
Cloned for generations.
the
That's
Dreg-
tentacles
the
on
Drenger.
tentacles.
The Drenger.
I make fun of the whole. I was making fun of it before the podcast about like, oh, we're doing tentacles again. But I do gotta say, like, that is, if I see that in the alleyway, I'm freaking out. That looks super scary.
Kill me now. I don't want to face that.
Exactly, right? Like that looks super frightening.
It
Like,
has no
tentacles,
eyes. There's no eyes.
the brown tentacles look like spider legs, and it's just I'm not vibing with it.
Yeah.
Like,
and apparently it's like it's sentient. I'm like, oh shoot, like
let's check this out. Let's see.
yeah,
what
it looks very creepy.
Oh god. Oh, I'm so unnerved as we keep talking about it. Can we not go back?
Okay. I'm trying to see where the Drenger appears. Okay. As the Jedi struggle with the aftermath of the Great Disaster, a new creeping terror rises from the ground beneath their feet. The Drenger are sentient. There's more of them. They're like a species. The Drenger are sentient plant life who are looking to reap a terrible harvest across the galactic frontier. Okay, so it's going to be in the comics, Kevin Scott's, so we actually get to see it.
That's gonna be cool.
The seed for vegetation-based villains came from a sketch from.
Ian McKay.
Yeah, that's cool. What else do they say? Scott, who is no stranger to mixing Star Wars and horror thanks to his terrifying tales in the Vader comics or Vader's Castle comics, has particularly enjoyed giving these life to these new adversaries. That's cool.
Yeah. We'll go back up real quick. It says that same paragraph. Where was it? Go up a little bit. It says they are sinister, unstoppable, and as we'll find out, inescapably linked to the fate of one of our High Republic Jedi. Dun dun dun. So did somebody die from these things?
Yoda. You see, the tentacle creature was found on Dagobah, and
yeah.
You see, the tentacle monster's view of the Force is like a mountain on snowfall.
What's the listed name for the tentacle monster?
The Drenger.
The Drenger.
The Drenger is the key to all this.
Yes.
But so that's fascinating. Because we're always thinking about like what can actually harm the Jedi. Because like, the Jedi have freaking lightsabers and they have the Force. They seem pretty strong opponents. Like, I'm very curious to see how they fight a Drenger. That's gonna be very curious.
The monster design kind of reminds me of something out of Stranger Things.
It does, yeah. Good call.
Yeah, it looks like upside down mixed with like I don't know. It's just horrifying.
And it looks furry too, a little bit. It looks like fur.
Yeah.
But actually, it
looks like it's coming out of the maze in Goblet of Fire. That's what it looks like.
It looks like
it's coming out of that.
Yeah, it looks like it totally blends into foliage, and then it's gonna get you.
Yeah.
Like, look at that. It looks like a pit. Like you sit in. It's scary.
I'm gonna scroll past them because I don't like them anymore.
Yeah. Does this have ribs?
So these are more concept art of the Nile.
Yeah, we've seen this one before. Yeah.
Which, gosh, they have so much ammo. That's insane.
That's so freaking awesome. I love that.
How does because it looks like the staffs, not necessarily like rifles. So it's interesting.
Yeah, so like this side is a staff.
Yeah, staff mixed
this side
with
is the
rifle
side, I think.
Yeah, very cool looking. Yeah, they're all wearing those masks, those breathing apparatuses things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
very cool.
What does it say? Anything?
I think they talk about it.
Here we go.
Go up a little bit more because this one's about the other image, the marching.
Oh yeah, here we go. Unlike the monstrous Drangar, the Nile plan and plot and have a power structure, which might just make them even more terrifying in the end. So they have 3 divisions called Tempest, each with their own captain who wields total control. Makes sense. So they have like their own kind of code. The Nile take what they want. But even as chaos agents can have goals, and the Nile's plans run directly through both the Republic and the Jedi Order. Wow.
So this is fascinating because, like, they called themselves like early on when the Nile first introduced like the Space Vikings kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So I'm very happy that they have like some kind of like internal goal. They're not just like willy-nilly just causing chaos. Like, I'm very curious what they're like overall goal is. How do they overall plan on defeating the Jedi? And it seems like early theories, like they have full control over what happens with the Great Disaster in terms of like the High Republic. The hyperspace lane. So maybe they might have better control of it, so they can appear wherever they want.
Yeah, it's interesting here. The things that make the Nile more than just a bunch of Outer Rim Raiders all come from Marchoian, who is this.
He says it on
the tapestry of villains we love to hate up here. So very interesting that
they say
like that.
He is the Eye of the Nile. In that paragraph there, like as his father
Isle
was
of the
before.
Nile.
Nice.
Death on the Nile, directed by Kenneth Branagh.
Coming out in December. But yeah, it says like one of the more scroll down there. Right there, the Machian Row paragraph. It says he doesn't give the orders. That's up to the Tempest runners. But in a very real way, everything revolves around him. And I asked this question to Charles Soule. I'm like, how does everything revolve around him, but if he doesn't give any orders? And then Charles Soule replied, yeah.
What did Charles Soule say?
Charles Soule just said, like, that's a very good question. I'm like,
you know what?
Teasing me. I have no idea what that means.
We talked about how they were gonna, pit up against the Jedi, and I think it's very much gonna be like home field advantage stuff and just like weird tactics that the Jedi I've never seen before. But we also talked about the possible introduction of a Force-sensitive Nile, which could be an instance of like a chosen kind of one where the Tempests are like not liking it because they're losing their power, but this guy is like proving himself in the ranks because he has these abilities. I would love to see that angle.
Ooh, I like
and him
that.
like manipulating that and like just seeking power out of those basically hating people, which of
that's
course
a good idea, Carson. Yeah, because initially I was like, Eye of the Nile, his father was before him. Like, it might be a hereditary thing where it's like his certain family is like very strong in a certain kind of talent. Maybe that is the Force.
I would love to see some ancient, ancient desert and Sith kind of like mentions, or what are these people's ideology of like those kind of people? Like, what do they think of like? Or what do they know of Force-sensitive people? Like, I would love to see what they think of
he's like
that.
a secret Sith? That would be cool.
Yeah.
Like somebody having that kind of influence within the Nile, but they don't really know of the Force, or they don't know of the Sith. They don't really know what that is. That could be interesting.
He could be blending in there. Yeah.
I like that. Let's go down to his design.
The image. Yeah. So, I believe the Nile, and then this is...
Just more than there he is.
This is him.
That's a really cool design. Love that. Love that. And we've seen a lot of bounty hunter people without necessarily the Force, like Cad Bane, who can go toe to toe with Jedi. Like Cad Bane went against
absolutely
Obi-Wan Kenobi and
I don't even notice this. Is this just rocks at his feet, or is this some kind of vehicle? I think it's just rocks.
Looks like rocks.
It's a glider. He's green costume.
It's a glider. This is going.
That would be dope, actually. I would love it. But I love the design so much. The mask is pretty awesome. The gun right there.
This pulse gun. It looks like what is this, like electric kind of. So cool.
And Charles Soule is talking about it, so he might be in Light of the Jedi. I really hope so.
Yes, let's check here because I believe that first intros. It's like right at the beginning of this. Charles Soule starts talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, they're the stuff of nightmares, able to appear anywhere almost at will.
And that's what I was talking about.
Chemical weapons, poison, and anything else. So they're very like.
Ooh, that's dark.
Brutal.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I was talking about with like the appear anywhere at will. They might be able to use the hyperspace lanes in a way the Jedi can't because of the Great Disaster.
Yeah.
That's going to be interesting.
I would love that because to all of us before, it was like we hear how complicated hyperspace is. And of course we get like little one-offs of like, oh, light speed skipping and like, oh, we fall to hyperspace. But we haven't really seen it manipulated to the effect of a true advantage. Besides, really, in the Last Jedi, we got the big light speed tracking, and obviously it's something that people have sought for a long time, and people, the Empire had been trying to do it for years. So I love that they're going with this angle of like manipulating hyperspace or being able to pop out of nowhere. Like I think it's gonna be so cool to catch people off guard, especially a Jedi that's not used to fighting and just kind of like this poised stance for peace. Like just so cool.
Yeah.
What
This
else
was
we got here? So these are just more. These probably like the Tempest guys, I'm assuming.
good call. You're probably right. Yeah, they look pretty. They look more well established than the other images.
Very
It's just
Mad
great.
Max.
Yeah,
This is just. I just love this image. This is so cool.
me too. So freaking exciting, guys. Like I haven't been this excited for a book in a very long time.
I know, me either. And so I guess that's the end of the.
Yeah, so we had like what Padawans last week, villains this week. We had Masters and Knights earlier in the summer, in the fall. This might be it. I don't know what else they can reveal to us, or maybe they can reveal some planets that we in upcoming
Planets
articles.
or
New
just like
animals,
miscellaneous or droids or like just
Droids.
random stuff.
Yeah,
But the embargo date is coming up midway through December. Like,
is it crazy how it's
approaching
like
us.
November next week? That's crazy.
Yeah,
In 2
and
days.
people are already reading these books. The press is already reading these books. Like, they already got Claudia Gray's book. They already got Charles Soule book. They probably already have Kevin Scott's first comic. So people are reading and writing about these as we speak, knowing all the secrets of the Nile and everything. It's
We're
exciting.
just staying in the dark. That's great. Hopefully, we get to the point where Lucasfilm sends us stuff. Please, Lucasfilm.
Yeah.
Maybe episode
We need
50.
Episode. Yeah, let's go.
Joby!
Get that. Joby will get us our 2022 press badge. Come on now.
Oh yes, yes. Please.
We'll be on
Aaron,
stage.
thank you.
We'll be moderating the panel with Joby.
Oh, they call us out after like the big panels. Like
They put us
"Man,
on the jumbotron.
Yeah, exactly. Hyperspace hype crew, come on up. We're like, oh, God.
It's like a Joby.
It's Price
Joby
is
Harold,
Right.
like montage, and it's us just laughing.
And then they just play our clip of us bashing Joby.
So back when he did King Arthur.
And I just make a run for it. Like, security, grab him. It's like, ah.
Nathan's
Ban.
like, well, actually, I got
Ban.
a free poster or free. What did you get? Like a medallion or something from your press screening
from
of that?
King Art. I got a poster. I got a baseball cap. I got with the crown painting.
Oh
on
my
it.
God! Can you please? You're bringing that to Celebration, the baseball cap, in the high hopes that we see Joby Harold like walking around, and we
you know
will
what?
get
I
him to
didn't
sign it.
I didn't
Oh
like
my
hate it either. So I'll just be like, hey.
I gotta see that movie now.
I do too. I really do.
Oh, you guys haven't seen it?
Not at all.
No,
No.
I've been memeing on it for years, which makes
I
it
know,
even
right?
more fun.
I mean, it's the Guy Ritchie film. So it's interesting editing to be in medieval times. So
That's funny.
some supernatural stuff. Yeah, it's pretty.
I got my Guy Ritchie fixed.
nods, and that's about it.
I said it's pretty. I got to rewatch it actually. I mean, it was interesting seeing it. Like,
Do you?
I saw it 2 weeks in advance, and I even like there was a whole like warning from like a Warner Brothers exec, like, don't film it or we'll incriminate you.
You're like, don't worry, buddy, I'm good.
Hey, don't worry, you got a 3% Rotten Tomatoes, but
Press the microphone recording. Said no, it's fine. No, yeah, no, it's fun. But all I could like really think about though is like how much like I drank too much and I have to pee and I'm stuck here. I don't want to miss anything.
Oh God.
Oh, damn.
I could hardly focus, but yeah.
Well,
Nice.
I think that's it for the High Republic stuff. Do we
Yeah,
have
that's about
anything
it.
else?
The only other thing, there was a little bit more about the Lego Star Wars. There's an EW article, and not a lot. It was just
Ben!
them, it was them talking about how Rey is going to be going, what's it called, in the past, in the present, in the future. Because it's Lego, they can do whatever they really want. They were talking
That's just a Christmas Carol, basically.
basically, yeah. So they said she's
That's
going to be
awesome.
fighting Darth Vader. There's an image of her with the whatever orange yellow lightsaber
yellow
fighting
saber,
Darth
right? Yeah.
Vader. Yeah,
Yeah, it's her saber with it.
fighting Darth Vader, pretty cool. But then they also said she's going to meet a young Ben Solo and a younger Luke Skywalker,
Yep.
which is pretty cool. I can't wait to see that. Probably just going to be like the version of Luke and Ben that was like them training together, probably.
I would imagine, yeah. Because
That
it would be
seems
weird
but-
for just grown
but
Ray
that
and just
Ben's-
miniature Ben.
Yeah.
Ben is so depressed, man.
Oh man.
You remember that panel? Why would you even want to live? Like, oh god.
God. Jesus Christ.
Remember when that was my background, my virtual background,
I remember that.
and it looked like I
wanna
had this
reread that
bubble.
comic.
Yeah. People don't
The
like
Bright
that comic
That comic
anymore.
is so good.
People don't like
I don't know
it.
why.
in
People
hindsight.
were so high
Yeah.
on it, and then all of a sudden, like,
People are bashing it now. I like it still.
people bash it. Yeah.
great.
Yeah. People are like, it didn't give us enough answers or it was too dark and stuff. I don't know. I feel like it was right. It felt good. It felt in character for Kylo.
Yeah.
I think the
I
discourse was
agree.
around whether or not he actually did destroy the temple.
Yeah, that's a bit iffy.
Which is such
but,
a weird thing to focus on. Like,
Yeah.
from
At this
the
point, I don't
movies,
care.
Yes, it makes sense to focus on
Yeah.
it. Yeah, it's like once you let go of that, you're like, okay, I don't need to answer that because it's burning anyways.
Yeah, the
in
point
US.
is like,
Like-
Ben Solo thinks he did, or he's taking ownership of it,
Right.
even if he
He's
didn't
taking
do it.
ownership of the
He's taking owner-
choice.
Yeah, exactly. Even if he didn't do it, he's taking ownership of it, and that's what he has in his mind. And that's what it is. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
So yeah, I'm just very excited for this Lego holiday special. I think it's gonna be very fun. They were talking about how they hope it's gonna be something that audiences can watch year after year, just like the other one, just like in a funny way.
Ooh, yeah. I mean, I totally
In a
will.
funny-
Um,
I
Carson,
hope
wait,
this is good.
Carson,
Me
while
too.
we talk about this, can you bring up the Obi-Wan Galaxy of Adventures
Oh yes,
Mm.
yeah.
Um,
holiday special?
yeah, I think the holiday special is going to be very fun. It's going to be very. They said it, they hope so. They hope that it has a lot of heart for people, and
I'm most excited to hear Kelly Marie Tran.
me too, right? Yeah, I'm very curious to see her role in all this. I'm happy that
Like,
she's going to have more screen time than the Rise of Skywalker. That's nice.
I feel like she's the only returning cast member other than probably Anthony Daniels, if we're being real.
That's probably yeah. I mean, they didn't even really address that. Like, so is Daisy really voicing Rey in this one?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Is Adam
That's
Driver-
awkward. That's awkward.
I want Adam Driver to play young Ben in the way like he talks on SNL, like, oh hello.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
That'd be funny. Yeah, I love, and I don't think Oscar Isaac is coming back for this.
Nah.
So he's like, I'm just going across the street tomorrow.
I don't know. He's Moon Knight now. You
He's
got the
like,
Disney
Marvel will
Plus.
sign my
Yeah.
check. Lucasfilm,
We'll
I'm
trap
out.
him in a room during a table read and be like, "Hey, put your microphone here. Read these lines."
Oh man,
Right.
I wouldn't put it past.
When's the release date again? Mid-November.
Yeah, I think it's like the renewal day of Disney Plus,
Yeah, I think it's
something like that.
Oh, okay.
yeah, it could be the
November 12.
12. Yeah, I think it's like the week or two before Thanksgiving, something like that.
Okay, that'll be fun.
So we can all watch it with our families on Thanksgiving.
On
I'm gonna react to it. I don't care. I love Lego. Like I'm have time.
I got my Disney Plus back now, so
How does it feel, Carson? Have you watched anything else on Disney Plus yet?
I have not, but I am happy to report that when you restart your account, it keeps all of your previously watched things. It's like, oh, you want to resume watching this? Nice. And I'm like, yes, I want to restart rewatching season 2 episode Dooku,
Old
Obi-Wan,
friend.
and Anakin. Of...
Old master.
Totally.
Well, that's
Nice,
awesome. Yeah, because I'm at this rate, I'm unemployed, so I'm not gonna hit the yearly subscription till 2021 after the holiday season because it's just too much right now.
Yeah,
I feel
yeah. You only save like 10% or something, 16% or something.
Mhm.
Yeah,
'Cause it's
honestly, my
$70.
peace of mind is just knowing I don't have to pay monthly. I'll just like, I hit just next year,
Oh,
and then I
yeah,
won't
no,
use
it
the
is.
Disney Plus as much. And what have I done?
I hate monthly payments. It's so annoying.
Yeah, especially with
Uh,
Netflix increasing the price now. Oof.
That's me on
Again.
Spotify right now. I gotta wait. Like I'm without premium for a week until I get my. So yeah, Carson, do you have the
Yes.
Galaxy
Sorry.
Adventure. Sorry. Because somebody pointed out, like, honestly, if this was the Kenobi teaser, I'd be so down.
That would be a great teaser for Kenobi.
Should I play it at 0.25 speed?
No.
Okay.
Everyone needs to see the fluidity that is animation.
Yeah.
We can't. I forgot we can't hear it, but like,
it's still cool.
Look at that flow. Look at that cycle of the.
I love seeing Revenge of the Sith stuff. I love the
Yeah.
shots in
like
this.
they haven't
So
really
cool.
done prequel stuff that much, other than like a quick like montage.
Yeah, I
We
thought
got
this
Phantom
was
Menace right
fantastic.
here. Oh yes.
Oh, so good. That shot. Oh my god.
It's
Obi-Wan
gorgeous.
versus Maul.
Can they just greenlight a series all in this?
Green-
format?
Look at that. Oh my god.
Can
So
you imagine?
good.
Like, think in the last week, I've seen Netflix like release trailers for like 17 different anime shows, and I'm like,
Yeah.
can Disney Plus just please just do one? Like,
I know, right?
look at
Come on.
that.
Wow.
Look at that.
Yes.
Obi-Wan versus Anakin. Yeah. I mean, this just sets up
man.
Kenobi as such a great character. Man.
Oh yeah. Do you think this
Look
was
at this, man.
Do you think this
Beautiful.
is canon, where he just
Yeah.
like stands out of the
Yeah, all the audio watchers, just watch the Obi-Wan Kenobi Star Wars Galaxy of Adventures. It's 1 minute, 5
It's on Star
seconds.
Wars.
I think especially
Yeah.
the Phantom Menace look is just beautiful.
Yes, I
Look at that.
love this stuff right here.
Oh
It's just
man,
gorgeous.
Oh, honestly, if you
Around.
did do 0.25, like you can see frame by frame how much detail is in this animation. It's literally what I'm basing my own animated series off of, this style, because it's so enticing.
yeah.
We
But
slowed
yeah,
down the sunset.
you're right. You were right, Nathan. Like early on when he said like this could be like the teaser for an Obi-Wan Kenobi TV show. Like
It really
this
could.
would be a perfect TV show teaser.
Oh my god, the
Oh.
delays on the lightsabers.
Oh, but like that's great.
That's
That
so cool.
eye shot. Wow.
I love the simplicity, but also when they want to be detailed, they do.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan.
I mean, yeah, the simplicity adds to the fluidity of the animation there.
Yeah.
Keep it as simple as possible so you can just do crazy stunts.
Mm-hmm.
I love that kids are probably seeing this and are just like, I love this and I want to become an animator and make Star Wars because
That's literally me now.
because
I'm like-
there is something special about Star Wars and animation. It's just
Oh
amazing. Oh, I guess we saw everything.
Wait,
Okay.
We didn't
I
see
wanna-
the-
I'm just gonna pause on Revenge of the Sith because I just think it's look at that right
God
there.
dang.
We're just gonna
God.
keep it right there. That's all
What a
you
picture.
need.
What a picture.
What a picture.
What a picture! I saw
Yeah,
you in
so-
I had a double feature. I had a Kenobi double feature last night.
Kenobi.
Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. What a
Attack of the
picture!
You guys are crazy.
Timothy Oliphant also in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Full circle.
Yes.
You're right.
Which it's funny,
But,
when I saw him in that, I was just like, I want to see this dude more. And then as soon as I saw the Mando episode, I was like, I should watch Justified probably.
Yep.
Yeah, dude,
That's
man,
what everybody had that reaction.
I've been meaning to watch that show. That and Deadwood. He's in Deadwood.
Hmm.
On HBO.
Mm-hmm.
Man. Yeah, this was a great teaser. Like I've loved a lot of the Galaxy Adventures one. This one is definitely up there.
Yeah.
I love the Han Solo one too from a couple, I don't know, was that last year? The Han Solo one? I forget.
I know. It
but,
seems like they're so sporadic now.
but that was really good too. I like the character centric ones.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Actually, Carson, could you like finish up this clip because I want to see how it looks slowed down with Anakin and everybody.
Yes, sorry.
Leaving us in suspense.
Oh
my God.
Oh, the eyes! I wasn't ready.
Oh, and he opens his eyes.
That was
I want to
fast.
pause it.
Imagine you see that in live action, guys. God dang, that's gonna hurt.
Look at that. That is anime.
Oh, wow. Give me a TV
That
series.
is so
like that.
cool, guys.
Here
we
for
need
Anakin's
give
Sith
somebody
Lord.
give somebody $50 to $75 million and just let them make an animated feature for the big screen.
Honestly, if they're
Or-
doing
Thank you, right? Come on.
honestly, looking at the like Marvel What If show, like just the style of
Yes.
that, like do that here, like with Galaxy of Adventures, and make a show. I don't care if it's just retellings. Honestly, like do this. It's so good.
Yeah, 20-minute
Please.
shorts. Come on.
20
We
minutes
need
short.
it.
A short that's 20 minutes.
20-minute episodes. Sorry.
No, it's great though.
But yeah, even just like seeing even the Squadron short that we reviewed a couple episodes back was
Oh
so
wow,
cool.
you're
I
right.
mean, that's
Yeah,
just
that was amazing.
a whole different form of like the
I need to buy
engine
Squadrons.
I do too. Evan, have you played it?
Not at all.
Did you buy
You
it?
got it though, right?
I
Did you fall off of it?
never bought it. No.
Okay.
You know you can get Baby Yoda in a new update now.
There's so many, like my PS5. That's going to be draining my wallet soon.
I'm not getting a
Yep.
PS5 for a while, so I'll just buy stuff on PS4 and wait.
I mean, I'm gonna do that for Cyberpunk. Like, I'm gonna buy the PS4 version of Cyberpunk, then get the free upgrade to PS5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Cyberpunk's cheaper on PS4. Then
Uh-huh.
I'm getting Miles Morales for PS5. Demon Souls for PS5, and then I could get Squadron for Black Friday. I think it's going on sale. That would be nice.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, I think I'm gonna play it winter break and just have it. I think it'd be fun.
Because we got to team up, guys. That would be awesome.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
we have to do a hyperspace stream.
Hyper-
Dude, I'm so bad at
Set
these
that
kind of
up.
flight games. I'd be so bad.
We would. Oh, it would be amazing. We'd be so bad.
Oh man,
Yeah.
Poor Anakin.
poor Anakin. Wonder what happened to him.
I saw his pod race in Mando. Is he all right?
Yeah.
Is he eating well? Is he healthy?
Look at this shot.
You fail me, master. You fail.
Look at the
me.
yellow in his eye.
No.
I mean, we have to see a live action version of this in the Kenobi series, right?
Democracy.
Oh,
Like a
for
flashback.
sure. Look, they got Hayden back.
Yes.
They're gonna.
If they can
We got the-
reshoot like an alternate scene of Mustafar, that would break the internet.
Look with the volume.
Mm-hmm.
They got it.
With the volume, yeah, exactly. That would like be wild.
Yeah, you don't need George's like weird contraption of them on the little railroad track, like on the little things, like going around, standing like they're in the lava.
Oh my god, that would, and to think like they did all of the Mustafar stuff like on the green screen, blue screen sets. Imagine like how the volume will make everything look.
Exactly.
Oh.
Or what if they show a shot like that we didn't see like from Revenge of the Sith? Because obviously they were like jump cutting that fight.
Oh my god, if they had like unused footage.
Wouldn't that be
Release
sick?
the George cut.
Wouldn't that be sick? Like just a scene like we didn't see like them before they climbed on something or something. That would be
Yeah.
awesome.
It happened.
That was literally like some of our predictions for Rise of Skywalker or 3PO.
Yeah,
And
remember
then
we're
look what
like
happened.
3PO's gonna go back in his memory and like get this thing.
Hang on, I'm just applying my clown makeup here.
It's gonna be so emotional and in depth. He might die. He might lose his friends. Oh my gosh! And then
I edited my super trailer with a flashback. My friends.
they just reboot him.
Babu Frick, my oldest friend. I like that though.
We gotta stop dissing Rise of Skywalker in every episode, guys.
Well, sorry, I don't mean to.
It's hard. It's just I'm not done with it.
I contributed 4 years of my life to this trilogy.
Oh man, you're not
I'm so
wrong.
grieving.
All right. Well,
Yeah, I think that's it, right?
on a high note, right? All right.
Yeah, I know, right? This was a fun episode. I'm happy that Mando's back.
Me too. I'm excited to see what Boba Fett does with Fennec Shan next episode.
God damn it.
It's gonna be fun. The return to Ming Na Wen, guys. You ready? I'm ready. So, that being said, did you guys have a good time?
I had a
Talk
good
to you like
time.
your audience members. No, like okay. Evan, where can people find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at HarrisEV9. Yeah, I don't think I'm doing. I don't think I'm that busy this weekend. But you can find me on Twitter.
No more Big Brother.
No more Big Brother. Yeah, finale's over. I'm watching Amazing Race now. You want to talk about
Oh
Amazing Race?
jeez.
CBS has me by the nuts. That's what I'm doing. I love reality television. So yeah, discussing all things Mandalorian, Star Wars, High Republic. yeah, find me on Twitter.
And Carson, where can they find you?
You guys can find me also on Twitter at the Film Carson, tweeting about. Man, it feels good to be tweeting about Star Wars again. Like I'm excited
Yeah,
to
it
just like tweet
does.
some Mandalorian stuff next week and like talk to people about Star Wars and not be sad about Star Wars or it's been a fat minute since we talked about Clone Wars and like a new show premiering, so I'm just excited to get back into all that.
And Clone Wars left
But yeah,
us
not too
depressed as
busy.
hell.
Yeah, Clone Wars, we were just broken.
In 2020,
so
how dare you?
How dare you? Everybody, if you haven't voted yet and you're eligible to vote, make sure you research how to vote. If you do not mail your vote if you are voting now because it will not get there in time and it will not count. So please go drop it off at a Dropbox or go in person on Tuesday. That is the best way you can do it now. But Hyperspace Hype says go vote. So take the lanes to the polls, folks.
Yeah. I didn't really realize that's crazy. By this time next Friday, it's going to be a very different, possibly very different America. I mean, I guess either way, it's going to be different. Whoever wins is going to be a very unique situation going on here. So, hopefully something happens.
Save the rebellion, save the dream. No, do not let the Imperial flag reign across the galaxy.
Exactly.
For
Not a problem if I don't look up.
Oh, that hit me like a freight truck. Because it's so real. Okay. But you can find me here on the channel. I just did a full reaction to the first episode of Mandalorian, as well as the whole season. I've edited my year-old videos. They're all up now, where you can see me 40 pounds heavier, and I hated it. But now you can see me fresher with Mando, where I'm freaking the F out over Boba Fett and Cobb Vanth and everything, and like the Marshal. So you can catch it here. But if you did, in fact, enjoy our video podcast, that's it. Look, I just woke up. Do you remember? If you did enjoy it, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if not already. That being said, hope you have a great day, and may the force be with you always.